Okay.
Good day,
Okay, go ahead,
everyone.
Mr. Young.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. And thank you so much for this opportunity given to us, my dear. Great one indeed. For having me as a speaker in tonight's webinar. Hi, everyone. I hope you're going to enjoy your time this evening. I am Oriyomi Kasali by name, which everyone popularly being called Emperor Yomite. I'm a finance and accounts professional with multiple experience in the industry. I currently function as the internal audit and control manager at one of the leading diagnostic centers in Lagos State. Look at that. Before then, I've actually functioned as the finance manager of an health sector as well, and I'm currently also an hybrid consultant in taxation, account, and regulatory compliance. Let's keep it short. I'm a chartered accountant. Let's just keep it short. I'm a chartered accountant. And when it comes to Ican, there's a particular question that I really love to put to myself, which was what really assisted me in also becoming a chartered accountant. One is actually having your eye and heart being edged towards the goal. I could remember when we were in school, I always have this drive. As someone always, in fact, whenever I have money, what I actually have to use to feed myself, she will always buy me a textbook. You have to be chartered. I'm like, why are you so concerned about me being chartered? Being chartered really, let me call it, it is an easy way. Because if you think there's another risk that you could take, I always say that it is what you can actually give to yourself. And what is that thing that you can give to yourself? We all wake up every day, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. We are growing other people's business. Majority do not even have their time to themselves. Then what else can you do for yourself? Is by you becoming chartered. My journey to Ican career, wow, it's a brilliant one. But because of the time, just let me keep it short. I started as far back as when I was in school. That was when I even registered. And registering, actually started lecturing Ican when I was back to my polytechnic days. I started lecturing people for Ican, but I was just lecturing. I have ATS. I couldn't even further as a result of what? Financial constraints. But on getting to University of Lagos, where I was doing my BSc, then I have a hedge of even having my own work. I'll be becoming a chartered accountant as well. Then the ugly experience I could remember vividly is whenever we have Ican exam, each of the diets, it always falls on the semester that we're writing the exam. That has really been so terrible. I paid for the 4 paper, then I could only manage to write 1 or 2. But the one that really interests me most, which actually serves as a motivation that I always like to tell people when you are coming and tell me, you're my tempo, I'm feared, I'm scared of failure. I say, my dear, nobody that is not a failure, but each failure has actually picked themselves up. I could remember my first attempt in skills level. Apology. When I attempted my skills level, I scored 49, 48, 49, 48. And I was even working in Guaranty Trust Bank then. Scoring 49 and 48 for all my 4 papers. People were like, people that even came, because everybody were even aware that I was writing the exam, because I was still reading my book, even while in the office. So when they saw my result, they were like, yay, 49, yay, 48, yay, 49. Why can't I just manage this? But I never feel embarrassed because I really know what I wanted. They were like, you wasted your money. Oh, the money that you're supposed to use to do fine boy, how much are you collecting that you are dashing Ican money? Mind you, my heart is only edged towards the goal, becoming chartered. I never, in fact, it's not because of time. I even have a friend that we even started the journey together, but the moment that one just failed 1 paper out of 3 papers, I just ran away. I never come back. But failing the 4, it motivated me that suppose I could do 1 extra thing. Instead of 49, I could have scored 50. Suppose I could do 2 extra things more. Instead of 48, I could have scored 50. That is even the pass mark. Funny enough, they are the courses that I even know best. That is why if there's someone that has actually been in my class of performance management, you will see that when I get to some strategic topics, I always summon on it and I will tell you, hey, give me your attention and your time, because just because I could not do more on those topics, it actually cost me. You know, my wisdom dad will always say that when you do good, you know. And when you are doing the other side, you also know. We can only be deceiving ourselves. You come out of the exam, or you be doing, hey, I finished your, hey, I finished this, I finished that. But the people within, you really know what you did in the exam. Actually, I put in my best, but it wasn't, the results didn't actually pivot me. But I really know where my weakness lies. And that is why when we are in the class, I love to always tell people that, see, give me your attention, pay attention to this, pay attention to that. Not because there's anything. This is what we have actually experienced. And after that, the other one has just been so successful. Aside from the fact that it's always clashed with my school exam, every other one has been so much easier. In a nutshell, my journey to the to becoming a chartered accountant has not been that smooth as majority always think. But mind you, it has really empowered me and given the wherewithal for me to always continue and never quit in life. Thank you so much. Hi, are we together?
Hello?
Yes, we are. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
That,
yes,
Mr.
we
Yomi.
are, Mr. Yomi. I really appreciate the introduction and also letting people know that um, the road may be rough initially, but eventually you will get to your destination. And like you said, many always think that, oh, maybe those that are lecturing, they found the exams easy. Some may even think you are even stainless because of the brilliance you show in class, but I'm sure it will be a source of inspiration to many of them now that if the almighty your might could have gone through this, then that means there is still hope for them also.
Definitely.
Because many get broken when they have reference. You understand? Yes, this is not what many of us pray for, but it does happen. And you bouncing back is what is more important. So thank you so much, Mr. Your Might.
Thank you.
I will now move on to Mr. Yonda Abdulwasil to give us a brief introduction and to share his own Ican journey. Mr. Abdulwasil Yonda, thank you for joining us today. You have the floor now.
Good evening, everyone. Please, can you confirm if you can hear me before I proceed?
Yes, sir. We can hear you clearly.
Yes, we can.
All right, then thank you, everyone, and good evening, and thanks for joining as well. My name is Yoda Abdulwasil, and how would I even start my Ican journey? I started in school. Started during my years. And I think to the glory of God, I qualify before 400 level. And I can remember then too, at least being in school and you preparing for Ican exam is quietly challenging. And just like what my guys make mention earlier, I can remember the first time, which is my skills after the 8 years. I finished Ican exam on Thursday. And on Friday, I have a CBT exam in school, even though I did not even know anything about that particular course because it was a GNS. So it's usually on Saturday, and the class is usually on Saturday and Sunday. I'll be in Ican class then. So it was just I share up the word, check some of the past question, and I think at the end of the day, I can remember the grade I have precisely on that particular general science. I think I have C, and I even thank God I have C because I did not even I did not even know anything about it. So sometime, I think after then, I have four paper in what in skills. I think I failed public sector. So I passed 3, but even passing PM was a word. It was like, oh, thank God, because I can't imagine what failing PM. And so at least I failed public sector then. So I have like 3/4. And when I get to the professional, I took all the 5, and I passed. And I've really enjoyed it. And I think that's one of the decision I know that what I've taken, that every time if I remember, oh, why do you start Ican while you're in school? I always say that I can't forget it, because I can remember then at home, they are not really they're not really supporting, let me put it in that way, when I started. But when I qualified during my 8 years, going to skills, that's when they started paying my exemption money and everything. But I don't know how the motive come, just started this program. And thank God, at least I didn't have anything to be calling them at home that, oh, I failed this paper, I'll come and bring another word, go and bring another one. So it's quite challenging, because I study at Kwara State University, and my school is around 40 kilometers from my study center. They have to come from it's in Kwara North to Ilorin to receive lecture, and the road is not really that good, but sometimes you just have to try as much as possible to do it. So I don't really have, at least your might have shared a lot of his own experience as well. And it's also part of my lecturer then too. So that was just it, a brief journey about my Ican. So thank you, Mr. Ridwan. Yeah, please. Can everybody hear me? I think that's...
Yeah, thank you.
Right.
Thank you
Yes,
so
thank
much, Mr. Yoda. So you've heard another story today. Mr. Yoda is one of our senior lead tutors for corporate strategic management and ethics, management information, financial accounting, and business management and finance. And he heard what he said also. He also had some challenges on the way. So he was a student, which means that he had a lot of tasks on his hand studying. And he juggled that with his school exams and taking Ican. And you guys know how rigorous Ican exam can be. So, this is to those of you that will come and chat me up and say, oh, can I do it? I have a Monday to Friday work, or my work is taking my time. I have children. So even for him, he had to travel from his school to another place to take lectures. And you can see the ease and convenience that Ican Online Tutors is bringing to you by making this available to you just at the palm of your hand. You can study on the go. You can study in the convenience of your room. You can study anywhere. It's so much more easier than it was then. So please take advantage of all these resources. I always tell students when they contact me that, see, take every advantage of the free time you have. Don't spend all your time going through the social media, the Instagram, the Facebook. And I'm not saying don't take your time to relax. But then there's the time to relax, there's the time to study. Take every time you're on your way, you're on transit, you are in the car, connect your mobile phone to your car's Bluetooth if you are driving. If you are not driving, it's even much better. Plug your headphones to your ears and be watching the videos. When you're on break at work, or if you are less busy, try and watch the videos. It's not until you sit yourself down and say, today, I want to study for 8 hours. I want to study for 4 hours. Even I don't know how you guys manage to study for that long. For me, I cannot sit down for 4 hours and say, for 4 hours straight, I'm going to. I always study in piecemeal. I can study for 1 hour, take 15 minutes break or 30 minutes break, safe. Then come back and study. But when you now say you want to study all through the day, I don't know how you guys assimilate with that. So it's one of the reasons, because of this convenience, because we wanted to make things easy. That's why we started Ican Online Tutor. And since we've started, we've received a lot of good testimonials. And I'm sure this diet, yours will be among the good ones also. So I will now hand over to one of my co-hosts in person of Queen Esther to continue at this point. So Queen Esther, please take over. Thank you.
All right. Good evening, sir. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining and thank you for staying put.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yeah, good evening. Hi. So yes, we would proceed, and I would be directing this question to Mr. Iyondawasiu. So I would like you to tell us, in your experience, what strategies or study methods did you find most effective in acing your Ican examinations, in acing your Ican examinations, and then also how did you manage the workload effectively, since you said you were in school, and then is this now? Yes, sorry about that. Yeah, so since you said you were in school and all, so how did you manage the workload with your Ican journey and also schooling?
Okay, thanks, Esther, and I think I get the question right. In terms of how did I able to manage words during my undergraduate and also preparing for Ican exam as well. And one of the things I can remember, which is the strategy I explored then, was that what I used to do, I listened to a lot of videos if I'm at home. And if I'm going to school as well, I download as much as I download more video, because I have a tab then. My sister is also is a chartered accountant. So during my if we are on break, I was escort her to the office, use their internet and download some video. So I have a tab then, which I also watch. So some of the video, I'll get a memory card and put in there. So that is one of the strategies, because in school, let me say, for example, now I can remember my business law. I did business law in 300 level. And that one was coming from my ATS1. So it's not really coordinating, even though I study accounting, but there are some things that I'm doing in Ican. At least business law was an ATS1, but I come across it in 300 level. So one of the strategy that I use a lot, which is what Ican Online is really doing now, is to try as much as possible to get a video of some of the lecture as well, because since his word is accounting standard, or some of the things that we are talking about is generally. So in terms of if someone explain this is now IS1, if you also listen to another video as well, it's also going to be the same word, IS1. So one of the strategy that I use is just to try as much as possible to get videos that are related to some of the courses that you're taking. It's only public sector that I think I find it difficult to get, because that one is local. So what you can just try as much as, that's the strategy that I use. Maybe you get a tab, and just like Mr. Ridwan mentioned earlier now, I don't think I have a fixed timetable. As anytime I'm always with the tab and just continue reading. It's not as when the exam is about, or maybe when we get to November now, or maybe at least everybody is out of work for till Monday now. Even right at your office, maybe you have some break. You can just try as much as possible to okay, let me even read one page, or let me even read just a 2-page within that break, and that's all. Not just about maybe, but you have to do your assessment as well. in terms of what, what worked for Mr. A sometime may not really be suitable for what for Mr. B. So just try as much as possible to assess yourself. This is the strategy that I use then in terms of what some of the video lecture, I get them and what I try as much as possible to listen to it. Okay. Thank you, Esther.
All right. Thank you very much, sir, for that. Thank you. Okay, so my co-host Abdul Martin will take the next question, please.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So I'll be directing this question to Mr. Kasali. Mr. Kasali, are you there?
Yes,
Mr. Kasali?
I'm here.
Yes, sir.
I'm here.
Okay, I have this question for you, sir. The question is, how has obtaining the Ican certification impacted your career and professional growth? And can you please share some insights into how it has opened doors or provided opportunities for you? So thank you, sir.
This is like throwing a banana to a monkey, because this is actually what, when we actually talk of, I really understand your question. If we are to address the question, I can actually confirm to you that even today, we still discuss that in the office. Oh my God, how so beautiful and lovely to have Ican certificates. We cannot just quantify the advantage that is there. Let's first of all speak it from here. The one that's really give me joy, in fact, that gave me the greatest edge that one could ever attain. I didn't mention it when I was working. I was really working as a contract staff with a financial institution. Wherever, however, they were quite aware of writing Ican. But I can really confirm to us that the moment I became chartered, oh my goodness, that was when I know that I actually have values. If there's someone that have HND and working in a financial institution, they could actually relate the kind of discrimination they're in. But the moment I became chartered, and my group head was even aware that I've become a chartered accountant, then the story changed. The way they even react to me changes. And aside from that, oh my God, that was really what has given me a great advantage that I'm enjoying today. Because being a chartered accountant just opened that door for you. Let me put it that way. My dear, first thing in life, apology. Because I was telling someone that whether you are going abroad or you are within the state, you are within the country, whether you study accounting, you have accounting background or not, my dear, find a means to get chartered. Why? The word that people really want to hear in that professional world is becoming being a chartered accountant. If you're looking at our environment, when you even look at when they advertise a job, whether you are skilled or you are not skilled, you will see ACA is an advantage. At times you will see 5-10 years experience. The next thing you will see is ACA is an advantage. The advantages of becoming a chartered accountant, like I said earlier, cannot be quantified. And let me relate it so that you can all get it right. Remember, I said I was really working as a contract staff. Even though I have a edge of even pushing me forth to be this, to be that, I never even wanted to stay there again because my career path is quite different. And I know that my certificates can actually aim me and take me to where I have never been and to where I am going. I really have that faith. I have that belief. And that is why I keep on pushing. Just like Mr. Inyada has said, it wasn't an easy journey, just like we all have it now, taking learning to your doorstep while you're sleeping. On the bed you are learning. It wasn't like that. We just have to go and even make me to even value it more. after becoming a accountant is to start a Sorry, please, can you hear me? Hello?
We can hear you,
Yes.
sir.
We can hear you.
Yes.
I apologize for that, please. So the advantage that being chartered actually brings is one, it actually moves you to that position that you have not even dreamed 1 year, 2 years, you could be there. I have a friend which I would like to reference. This person has been in oil and gas company for many years. Then she's skilled in her field. She was the finance manager after some years. Our boss telling her, get chartered. For God so loved the world, she has a progressive experience, a progressive journey in Ican. But SFM was actually holding her. Then, when they employ a new employee, they will ask her to train that employee. The next thing, the employee, she will also be serving under that employee that she trained. Next one, they will still employ another person. She will train that person, she will train that employee and also be reporting to that employee that she trained. All because of what? Not being chartered. Then she was crying. You might, how can I become chartered? The only thing that is limiting me here, that do not even let me achieve what I want to achieve, is being chartered. Because I'm not chartered, this is the hell that I was going through. I said, see, calm down. The first thing is, you really need to get chartered. You are aware. So then everything that will make you to be chartered, you just have to go for it. For God so loved the world. It was when she chartered, they even offer her a position with an incentives that is beyond what she was expecting. But she really got an offer that actually tripled that. And that is one of the advantages that being chartered actually brings. That's not alone. When you are chartered, in fact, we see that a lot of, how can I call it, a lot of opportunities will start coming your way. Those and many more are the benefits, the advantage that being chartered actually brings. And for me personally, oh my goodness, because I'm a chartered accountant, I can really confirm to you that it has really helped my growth, my development, and also contribute to my organization development. I could remember when me and my boss were talking then, they would be like, you are chartered. Even because you are chartered, they don't want to know whether you are even skilled in that field or not. Just because you are chartered, they expect that you are a demon. Everything you must know, everything you have answer to it because of what? You are chartered. If you are being fortunate to work with some boss like the Lebanese, the India and co, they will even be calling you CA. And when they even want to introduce you to their partner or their son, you will hear, he's a CA. Whenever you hear he's a CA, they are expecting more from you. These and many more are the great opportunity, the great benefit that being chartered accountant actually brings. It is beyond mentioning, but positively, it actually adds to the growth, to the development, and also to the incentives that one received, better than when one is not yet chartered. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Oriyomi Kasali, for this. Okay, so moving on, we would proceed, and this question is for the both of you, Mr. Abdulwasiu and Mr. Oriyomi. So, so from your perspectives, I'd like to ask, what are the key benefits that students can expect from earning the Ican certification, both in terms of career advancement and personal development? I think any of you can just start.
Okay, I think let me allow your mic to rest a little bit. So let me take that. In terms of what the benefit that what a student is going to earn after you completing your ICANN exam, And to some of us that at least you work in what, some of us that work in accounting firm, there are some words, there are some units that before you can work, or there are some unit, or let me say there are some level that maybe you are aspiring to be a manager in some certain units. It will require you to be chartered. That is one, in terms of what, even looking at it from organization perspective, that there are some unit that even I have some people that maybe they are finding it difficult. And once it gets to some certain stage, what the organization will just advise them is that, okay, maybe you have to change your unit. Maybe you go to central service that is not practice. So that is one. There's in some organization, especially in accounting firm that I work with, there are some level that before you can get promoted to, you have to become a chartered accountant. And just like what Mr. Oriomi mentioned earlier, even I can remember there was a certain client that I worked with is in FSR, is one of the listed companies in banking. So the manager is not really interested in whether the interview really went well or it didn't went well. What the head of that unit is just trying to look for is, okay, is that person chartered? So even though you perform very well during the interview stage, the head of the unit is still interested that, oh, all my team member must be a chartered accountant. So irrespective of the experience that particular individual have, irrespective of, okay, whether you even perform the interview very well. But the head of the unit is all my team member in audits, everyone has to be everyone has to be chartered. So that is one of the words in terms of promotion in your in our various workplace. Your personal development as well is also very, very important in terms of even though the promotion is not there, but there's we are human beings. When you know something sometime, you can see the world, how happy you are going to be on that. Oh, I understand this thing. You'll be like, okay, let someone just ask me this question as I'm working, I'm going to tell them. Just the confidence that you have just by knowing that particular word, knowing that particular question, okay, or maybe you're in a seminar now and someone is just asking you that, okay, what is IFRS 5 now? You be confident about yourself that, oh, I understand the requirement of IFRS 5. So that is from the word, from your own personal. And in terms of organization as well, that will also aid you in certain word on your promotion and some of the incentive that you're going to get. So I think let me stop at this word. These two, my Oga can also make mention of the rest as well.
I would like to add to what my boss has said when it has to come to the benefit that students becoming a chartered accountant actually earn. Honestly speaking, like I always say, that just get chartered, whether you like it or not. And then it will be more fun for you to also experience it and not that it's immersing. Yeah, I said a lot when it comes to the benefits, but let us pick it from the benefits within the organization itself. In an organization, the moment that you are chartered, then your portfolio changes. Your company will also be expecting that if they did not do anything, you might eventually lose this person. I have some accounting firms in which if they are even paying for your exam, they want to tie you down at least minimum of 2 years after that. And aside from cooperatively, being a chartered accountant actually it improves your exposure, and then it just shoots you up. Let me put it that way. And personally and privately, it will also increase your morale, because you already know that, oh, this is a chartered accountant. I already have everything that it takes. Irrespective of the challenges, you already know that you just have to step up. That and many more are the benefits that anyone that is chartered can actually benefit from becoming a chartered accountant. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Mr. William. I really appreciate it, and Mr. Abdulwasi on that. But now we have to focus on the core of today's webinar, which is Mastering Corporate Strategic Management and Ethics, and also case studies. So I'll be asking some questions that are direct. So let me start with you, Mr. Riomi. Case study is always a big challenge for many students, and you see them complaining about how they struggle to pass this course, and it reminds me of the MDCS then, which is multidisciplinary case study, which was also the case for many. So it was like the control paper, although I don't think case study is the control paper at the professional level now. But yes, a lot of students still have challenges because, some of them I see, well, I see so many red flags in terms of students. Some students don't even study case study from the beginning to the end. You understand? What they just do is that they wait for the person to come out.
Exactly.
They attend one case study present analysis. They take the solution, they cram the solution, then they go to the exam hall hoping to pass the exams because they feel that's the solution to the questions that they've been asked. So can you give clarity? Is this the case? Is the solution that is being given at the case study present analysis sufficient and adequate to go into the exam hall and pass, or students need to do more than that? Kindly help, kindly enlighten us on this. Thank you, Mr. Young. In 1 minute, please, because we're running out of time.
Thank you so much for that opportunity. Let me key into the time limit. When it comes to case study, let's first appreciate Ican Online Tutor for the great wonders that they are doing in that course. I always tell my people that multidisciplinary case study that we do in school is not the same thing as Ican that we do. Then multidisciplinary case of then isn't the same thing as the case study of today. However, I really have the confidence, and it is not by virtue of a pride, and it is also a pride as well. When it comes to case study, only a few really understand the requirement, what they were asked to do, and also how to even teach the topic, how to teach the course strategically. When it really comes to case study encompasses all other courses. In case study, we find SFM. In case study, we have CR. In case study, we have performance management. In case study, we have financial reporting. In case study, we have CSME. Only PSAP we do not have in case study. In fact, we have an element of taxation when it comes to what case study itself. And when we talk about the case study, let's first understand the background of what we really want to enlighten on. What is the case study itself? Case study, we all know that does not have a right or wrong answer. And people are always of a notion that, just as you mentioned, sir, let me just wait until the present is released. Then I will find somebody, collect the solution, and I will cram. Like it doesn't work when it comes to case study. What do we do at Ican Online Tutor that really relates to that of the case study? Like I said, case study really needs to be understood. Case study do not have a right or wrong answer, but the examiner are not a dummy. They work with marking guide. If every one of us are looking at the Pathfinder, you will see that in Pathfinder, they will give us a question and they will put the solution beneath it. But go and look at case study, you can never see any solution. Why is it so? This is a question that we all have to be asking ourselves. It is because the examiner will not also be too sure of the case study that this is the solution. Every other one, you have suggested solution for it. Which one is meant for the case study? However, they have actually developed what you call a marking scheme. Just like when we are in school, when the examiner, our lecturer, when he's preparing a question, they always have a marking guide or a marking scheme. The same thing in Ican, The examiner also have a marking guide, which is the marking scheme. And at IoT, the first thing we give to them in our lesson 1 is that marking guide, which we called our case study report structure. And throughout the course of our discussion, what we do there is to tailor, or let me say what we do there revolves around that report structure that has already been given. Many people that we are in the class together can always confirm this, that they just have to master that and not to cram. Because there's no way you can cram a case study and ensure to come out and ensure to pass the exam. It doesn't jive. Because we all need to understand in case study, each line has its own meaning. When we say that evaluation of a business proposal, what does that actually mean? When they say that, when they make mention of analysis of financial statement, what am I expected to do? The one that's actually caught people unguarded is when they use broader commercial and ethical consideration. Who will be lost? What is broader commercial and ethical consideration? The next thing you'll be hearing is, it is a SWOT, it is a pest, it is a this, because that was the way they have been wired by those people that do not even have a sound knowledge of the case. In my class, case study is always practical. And I keep stating it in the class that as every other courses might have a mixture of theory and practice, but in case study, it is 100% practical because you have to write a report. And the report you are writing, you are not just writing for writing's sake. You are writing in relation to what the examiner has asked, in which you have already digested, understood, prepare a, what do we call it? A pre-appendix tailored towards the examiner's requirement. And simply, that is really what we are doing. So on the other part of, people always believe that when they release the pre-scene and I have the pre-scene, I will pass. That's why I always said that, for God so loved the world, that he has given the word Ican Online Tutor. Let me just put it that way. Because if not for the help of Ican Online Tutor, who else could have done that? What we really give to them is, in Ican Online, we don't just say, okay, we are just coming and new, let's give you this. No. And if we really look at those that are also coming for the pre-scene analysis, they would be those people that has already studied either with Ican Online Tutor or with someone else, but they would have already studied from the maybe in the previous decade, and they just want to have the solution. This is now the major pitfall for those that just think that when I have the pre-scene, it is enough for me to pass. One, you do not understand the breaking down of the question requirement. If I have my people listening to this webinar, they can actually confirm that in our second meeting in Ican Online Tutor for the case study, we actually done what we call planning in case study. As we all know that without a planning, nothing can be achieved. Mr. Yenda said that when he was in school, you just have to plan his time. Even though that you do not have a timetable, at least let me share a plan because I have to pass this. So also, what we want to achieve in life, we plan. Also in case study, it involves planning. And in that planning, we identify what needs to be identified, break down the requirements as the examiner has already asked. Then from there, we can now tailor it towards the report. Person that do not attend the live class, how the person know how to break down the question. When the examiner now change something or they flex the question, I call it flexing of question because it really occurred in May 2021. It happens again in May 2023. Those are the notable diets that I can really recount on. For instance, when it happens in this just completed diet, May 2023, those people that were in the regular class, they already know what to do. I can change the case. From Dudley Cement, they brought our case entirely and turned to acquisition. This would have already been taught during the course of our discussion in class. And as a result, they already know what to do. Flexing the question, changing the requirement, putting something can actually throw them off. They really know what to do because they were involved in the live class from the beginning to the end, and not just someone that just come in a week and you ensure someone should break your head and put everything there. Though there are some, because of the way we have been doing our own pre-scene, it has always been effective and people has always been passing it. But I can really tell you that it is a 50-50. When you go to who want to be a millionaire, they say that you have option 50-50. They remove 2, they leave 2. Yeah, when you come for pre-scene, 50-50. Remove 1, we have 1. But in order to really understand the case, one just have to be involved in the live class, because what we do during the live class is all about that. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ariyomi. Although I gave you 1 minute, but you took 10, but no problems.
I'm sorry, sir. The question was really more than 1 minute. Apologies, sir.
No problems. We are running out of time quickly, so we need to round up. So, Mr. Iyonda, in 1 minute, please. Okay, let me give you 2. In 2 minutes. You know, a lot of students tell me, or even personally, let me share my experience with you as regards corporate strategic management and ethics. You know, for somebody like me that, like I said, I'm not that kind of person that reads for 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours. And I know the volume of CSME is very much. I know it was about maybe 2 or 3 courses that was combined together into one. So even from the name itself, corporate strategic management and ethics is like 3 courses together. So how do you do it? How do you break this down? I see a lot of notes, I see a lot of materials. How do you help students summarize this large volume of study resources? Or how do you explain to them in simple terms that has really helped you that has really helped you in helping many other students pass this course with ease? So I want you to do that in 2 minutes. And there's also a request from the YouTube directed to you. It says, Mr. Abdulwasiu, I would like to see your face. Well, I don't know why the person wants to see your face, but don't worry, this person is the man. Is Babajide Ajayi, that's his name. He sent a comment to the YouTube channel. So I hope you'll be able to grant his request also. So please, in 2 minutes, Mr. Iyonda, quickly. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Ridwan, and thanks for the question. And let me go straight to the point just to save our time. What CSME, let me put it this way, is a very interesting subject. And I always try as much as possible to make it open to the world, to the student as well. In terms of what, in management courses like CSME, there are some things that is the course does not really require what intensive reading like that. What you just need to try as much as possible, and which I always try as much as possible to emphasize, is that you have to try as much as possible to understand the terms. Once you understand the terms, it's like you have solved the word 90% of the word of the problem. You have to, your motive in terms of what, as you are picking up the word, the note or the study text, is that, okay, let me just understand what is this particular model or what is this particular term referring to. So once you can try as much as possible to understand it, then there's no real, you don't really need more intensive reading anymore. You just need to try as much as possible to understand the terms. What is this particular terms referring to? Once you understand it, and to some of us that you are working and preparing for Ican exam as well, it will really help. Although even me personally, at least I was still in school when I qualified too. So, but to those people that are working, I see this particular subject as something that you should be able to pass, irrespective of your nature of your business, whether your company is listed or it is not listed. Because if you can also able to bring in some of the experience that you are using in your day-to-day work, that will also help as well. Because there are some things that you can answer in management without you reading necessarily having to read it before. Or maybe, for example, now let's say in terms of audit, if I ask some of us in this particular section, and okay, how can you detect fraud? Or what to make people to what to commit fraud? You can say that if you sit down very well, even a non-accountant should be able to provide answer to that. Okay, how can you detect fraud? Why do you think that people will commit fraud? Because you have understand the meaning of what of fraud. So once you understand the meaning of fraud, if any question is coming in, then you're able to provide answer to it. So what you just need to try as much as possible to do, just make sure that as you are reading it, your motive is not only about to pass the exam. And if you understand this CSME very well, that will really help you in your case study. There's no how you want to pass case study very well without you understanding what CSME, to be honest. And I think Mr. Yomite is also here as well. And when I saw this particular fire, that CSME and case study, I was really happy. Because if you understand CSME very well, there's no how you understand case study. It's just like a brother and sister. So thank you very much, Mr. Rido. I think it's to me.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wasinyada. Yes, we strategically put CSME and case study together. Yes, because we know they both go like hand in hand. And you know, when you pass CSME and you pass your skills level and you move to professional level, don't forget what you have learned in your skills level. Some of them are related to the courses that you will take in your professional level. The audits you learned in your skills level is related to advanced audit and assurance. The tax you learned at your skills level is related to advanced taxation at the professional level. It's also related to some other courses too at the professional level. The FR you learned is related to some courses at the professional level. So don't say, oh, skills level is over, I'm going to forget everything I've learned in skills level. No, no, no. Try to study with the aim of also understanding, not just passing the exams. And at the end, you will still need this knowledge in your workplaces, whether you are in paid employment or in private practice, or you have a business that you are running. You will need this knowledge in helping you in your career, whatever career path you have chosen. So we will now take a few questions, that is if there are any, so that we can round up for today. We understand many of you will be having classes as early as 7 a.m. tomorrow. So we want to let you go at this point. So if you have any questions, you can drop it in the chat, or you can just raise your hand, then I can ask you to unmute and ask questions. So in 1 minute or less, any questions so that we can round up this session. So any questions in less than 1 minute? Okay, so Osana John says, please, what are the, let me quickly read that. So Osana John says, please, what are the key factors to consider in CSME? So what are the key factors to consider? So Mr. Yoda, in less than 1 minute, kindly answer that so that we can call it a day. That's the only question we have for today.
Okay, let me quickly answer that. Say that what are the key factors to consider in CSME? And if I can get this question right in terms of what the factors that you need to consider in terms of looking at maybe looking at it from the angles of each of the section of the syllabus. And we all know that, okay, this part on CSME is divided into 4. You have the strategic management, we have the risks, we have the governance, and we also have the ethics as well. So, and one of the factors that you also need to consider that, okay, a question will always be tested from each of these 4 sections. And like I always make mention, that one of the easiest parts among the four, and that can also make your word passing this particular subject to be very easy, is about understanding the risk management part very well. Because 2 questions will always be tested from risk management. And risk management is very, very short. Even I can remember the note I have in class, it's just like a 10-page. And once you can able to read it very well, whatever any question that is that come from risk management, you should be able to do you should be able to attempt it. And you should be able to tell yourself that, oh, if it is 35 mark, at least you should be able to see a minimum of 25. And that is one thing that you need to consider as well. Okay, what are the sections that is likely to come? And your number one is always going to be on strategic management. So you have to know as you're learning the model, you know what BCG is, you know what Porter Diamond is. You also need to try as much as possible to also know, oh, how can you draw the diagram as well? And if you check some of the marking guide, which I always show some of us in class as well, you see that the examiner will also give you mark for you just drawing the diagram. Sometimes it will be 2, sometimes it will be 3. So those are various factors that you need to consider. What are the likely things that you need to see in number one? Oh, it is basically on management, and it will be a model. So we need to ask ourselves now, do you understand the model? Do you understand the diagram as well? And do you understand how you can also apply? And be free or be open-minded when it comes to management. Even though you have not read it, or maybe it's quite a while that you notice that particular term, make sure you just relate it to yourself. And that's why most time I usually happy when I'm taking people that are working, because I know that majority of the things I'm talking about, some of us, you are aware of it before. Okay? And don't worry, God will make it easy, and so that we won't waste most of our time.
Thank you so much, Mr. Iyada, for that. I really appreciate. So also, Mr. Oriyomi, there's one question for you from the YouTube channel. So we will take that and call it a day. It's about 9:46 already. And so those that will be having classes early tomorrow need to go take their rest now. So this question is from Ayotuji Bukola. She said, good evening. My question, sir. After being chartered and the students has no practical experience due to work environment, how can we cope with this situation, sir? Mr. Oriyomi, in less than 10 seconds, because I know if I give you 1 minute, you might end up taking 10. So I would say in less than 10 seconds.
Thank you so much. So thank you so much, sir. Ayantuji, that's a wonderful and brilliant question from you. After becoming a chartered accountant, or even before you become chartered, just ensure that you are familiarizing yourself with the real practical accounting world. What are the things that you can be doing while you are in the office? Mr. Yanda has said a lot about trying to apply what you are learning in your work activities. In your environment, just to ensure that all what you are learning in Ican, you are able to apply it. Then, for instance, you are working in an environment that is not even an accounting related. From there, during your leisure time, you can be looking at preparation of the management account, looking at how to be posting on Sage, some accounting skills, some management skills. Just ensure that at your own leisure, you are actually familiarizing yourself with those things. Don't limit yourself alone to the classroom. Don't limit yourself alone to just theoretical aspects, and don't let where you are serve as an hindrance, or you see it as a limiting factor to you. No, there's always a blessing, and there's always something that is very much beneficial and useful where you are. One thing I just want you to see the brighter side of where you are working, and ensure that you keep learning. Do not fail to learn every day. We grow by asking questions. We grow by learning, and we also grow by communicating. Just ensure that you keep learning. Thank you so much. Please, let me quickly take this also. A question was dropped that how can you manage your time to read, preparing for ICANN exam as a worker and as a student? For God so loved the world. The two of us that you're having as a speaker are both a worker and a student, and I qualify while I was working, not even under a good condition. My environment, I can really call it toxic then because of what we are actually going through. But one thing that has actually been effective for me and that really worked for me is just create a schedule, personal timetable. In each day, just ensure that you find something to read. I always say that why would you go to bed when you have a career to live? 30 minutes is okay. If you are driving, at least you still have some chances. But if you are not driving, there's nothing holding you from not listening to we have audio lecture, we have video lecture. You can be watching your video while you are on the road going home. You can be listening to some audio lecture while you are on the road and also going home. Just ensure that before you sleep, you try as much as possible within 30 minutes, you find something to solve. I really call that one the ant principle. But because there's no time, I wouldn't be able to just mention the ant principle for us today. Maybe in our subsequent question, maybe in our subsequent webinar, I'm going to teach us the ant principle, how ant was able to manage, even though you could not run, you could not walk, it's just trying to crawl. It is being called the ant principle, and it's just 30 minutes. With 30 minutes, you can achieve a lot. Just prepare yourself a timetable, and you will see that nothing can actually serve as a hindrance to achieving your Ican career success. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Oriyomi, for that insight. So I'm sure it will be really helpful to the students and to anybody watching this video. And altogether, I really appreciate everybody for joining this webinar today and for participating. I can see some more questions on the YouTube, but we will not be able to take them. I think some of them okay, let me quickly answer those ones. My question is on CSME. I need a guide on it because I keep scoring 23, 24, and 26 for 3 diets. I don't know what to do because I'm tired. Well, I'm sure if you take your time to watch this webinar again, you would be able to get the solution to your questions. Mr. Washington Yonda has given some insights on how you can pass the exam. So please take your time to watch the webinar all over again. It's going to be available after, immediately after we finish. You can watch the live streamed video. It will be available on the YouTube channels and our other social media channels such as LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, somebody asked, please, what are the average marks for passing Ican exam, please? I'm a new student. So the minimum you have to score to, which is the pass mark, is 50%. Just 50%. Once you score 50%, you have passed that exam. So you have to score a minimum of 50% to scale through. So that is it. Okay, somebody is sharing his testimony. Say, I listen to audio inside toilets. Yes, that's a very good one. Any slight opportunity you have for me, that is it. Don't say, oh, I have just about 30 minutes break at work. That will not be sufficient to learn anything or anything enough. It's not true. You will learn something. That's just the reality. Whatever you learn for that 30 minutes, it's add up. You know, they always say little drops of water makes a what? A mighty ocean. If you say, let me wait till the end of the diet, then 2 weeks to exam, I will now revise everything. Man, some of you have super brains. So I cannot judge by your brain. If that's what works for you, good for you. But personally, I won't advise that. Take it little by little now. Take it bit by bit now. You have August, September, October, November. So you have about 3 months plus before your exam date. So this is sufficient and adequate for you to pass your exams. Even if you are just joining the classes now, all you have to do is catch up. Because you work Monday to Friday, is not enough reason, is not enough excuse for you to say that you cannot write the exams and pass. You can write the exams and pass. We've even seen, we have testimonials. If we check our testimonials on our social media, most especially Instagram. So if you search for Ican Online Tutors on Instagram and you go through our testimonials there, you will find out that even people did it in few weeks. Although we are not saying you should not wait a few weeks before you start studying, because our sincere advice is that join classes early, start studying early. That is when your chances are very high of passing the exams. But what we are saying is that don't now say, I don't have enough time. People say, I'm scared. That's why I did not write the exams. I feel I'm not prepared. The truth is that the time will never be perfect. You will never, I don't want to say you will never feel prepared, but there was no time I took the Ican exams that I felt prepared. I always feel like I wish they can postpone this exam for 1 week or another 2 weeks, but it's all a lie. After that 1 week or that 2 weeks, I won't still feel prepared. Well, I just say, oh, I know I have to take these exams. I can't know everything 100%. I will try my best. I will try and cover as much as possible. I'll put in my best. I go there and write the exam. And like Mr. Ian said, he said, understanding the terms is one of the tricks of passing the exam, understanding it. So you don't have to write exactly the same words and the same wordings as the author of the book that you read or that the tutor has said in class. Once you understand this, put it in your own words. So that's why he said, even somebody that didn't study for the exams or is even a non-accountant or doesn't have an accounting background might still be able to answer some of these questions they ask you because he understands the term. You understand? And this always comes up. So I remember one diet when they were asking about the treasury single accounts in public sector accounting and finance. And you will not find this in Ican Study Park. But is it difficult to know the advantages of treasury single account? No. This was what was happening in the economy at that time. This was a policy the government was coming up with to curb against corruption, to ensure accountability, to ensure stewardship, to ensure so many things. So you don't have to, this is something that you don't need to study to know their advantages. But if you are waiting there saying, they do not teach us this one is not in our study pack, you wouldn't be able to answer that question. And for me, that question was a bonus mark. That's just it. It was a bonus mark for students. But if you are the type that you're expecting them to teach you everything that you are going to meet in question, I can tell you that Ican will always surprise you from time to time. So don't just say, or don't just get scared just because you see a question that comes up and you say like, this is not in our study pack, this is not in our lesson notes. None of the tutors taught us this. These questions will always come up. So I wish you all a wonderful night rest, and we hope to see you next week when we will be inviting another of our guest tutors to do justice for some other courses. I remain my humble self with one testing Lione, and I appreciate my colleagues that have joined me here today, Queen Esther and Abdulmatin Orumo, and the other ones also. Temitope Falutatu was on the call. He was at the back end, all through, and also the guest lecturers. So we hope to see you guys next week as we organize another thought-provoking webinar. If you would like to ask more questions, make inquiries about our classes, about our videos, and how to join our classes, you can visit our website on www.icanonlinetutors.com.ng, or you can chat us via WhatsApp or call us on 070-4457-6011. Let me take that again, 070-4457-6011 or 0811-0866-896. I'll take that again, 0811-0866-896. Thank you, everyone, and do enjoy the rest of the night. Take care. Bye.